So, dear colleagues and comrades, I thought I opened in the spirit of the revolutionary spirit of this morning. So, dear colleagues and comrades, ages ago I graduated as a rural sociologist. I did not get the much desired development sociology degree because I did not follow one of the pre-designed programs. Not yet a development sociologist, I became a rural sociologist. A residual category for those who lack something, apparently. And I had to think of the status of the rural as a residual category, a not yet, when reading the United Nations statement that the future of the world's population is urban, the idea of a planetary urbanization. And this suggests a dominance of the urban in contemporary society. And the idea is that the urban has extended outwards. It has become the ecology of contemporary capitalism. And if there's anything rural around us, it's in the waiting room for being urbanized. Is this a farewell to the rural? Of course not, but what else of an answer one could expect from a rural sociologist? Yet negative normativity has accompanied rural sociology from its early years. Regarded as a sociology of the periphery, rural sociology developed as the study of the spatial setting where the attributes of capitalism, or more generally modernity, its urban core, played out. In these early years of rural sociology, many of its practitioners were modernizers, interested in the transformation of the rural world through the diffusion of an urban modern lifestyle. We, rural sociology in Wageningen, we started as modernists in the 1940s. Over the years, our group research focus shifted towards the question of democratization. We carved out a special interest in the lived experience of people versus structures, and the particular versus trends. This was marked by an inclination towards a comparative understanding how people and social groups act on the basis of meaning. This approach was helpful for hearing voices which were silenced in the modernization craze, and make visible all the pathways to choose from. It gave us a solid position in both societal and academic debates about rural development that is written in policy capitals and its alternatives. Our research on place builds on this tradition, and we have identified two broad interrelated themes around which our future agenda evolves. The first theme is in which place the rural is understood in terms of spatial identities. What are these spatial identities? How are they produced and by whom? And this brings me to the second and related theme, which centers around multiplicity. The rural as a thrown togetherness of human and non-human, of interests, of effects. It's along these two themes, or axes, of identity and multiplicity, we aim to understand processes and actions that shape and reshape the places in which we live. Such an agenda around place, the spatial, has the potential of making visible hegemonic trajectories, mostly those centering around state and capital as ordering institutions, but also, importantly, the individual and collective practices through which people themselves are changing the world that is changing them, to use a phrase by Marshall Berman. The farming styles approach and the idea of meaningful diversity, which we developed in the anniversary book, are based on this idea of making visible pathways of alternatives in the present. And they imply a move away from critiquing the hegemonic to making visible under- and countercurrents. Such a spatial agenda turns rural sociology into a discipline which stands in the tradition of E.P. Thompson's History from Below, or the wide field of subaltern studies. A place agenda, a spatial perspective, can help rural sociology to move beyond the sociology of the periphery, a sociology of the not yet, and instead become a sociology of pathways suppressed, of interest ignored, a sociology of the wretched, the marginalized, the outsiders, the non-conformists, the movements, the struggles. This is not a sociology of activists, but one of academics positioning themselves and taking perspectives.